What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package updates, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, the economy, and everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. And don't forget to hit the like button for us down below if you find these videos helpful. Inflation readings coming out today are expected to be the highest in 40 years. Yeah, the highest in 40 years. Wall Street expects the consumer price index readings coming out today to be a 0.7% gain just for November, which would translate into a 6.7% increase from a year ago. If that's accurate, it will be the highest year-over-year increase since 1982. Yeah, that would be 39 years, the highest inflation. Yeah. Though markets expect a high reading, investors worry that the Fed might react aggressively to one that is even above consensus. Yeah. Inflation is running very, very high. And recent polls show that inflation is one of the biggest concerns on America's mind, including our economy as well. 2/3 of Americans in a new poll report higher household expenses. Yeah, roughly 2/3 of Americans reported higher household expenses than in March 2020 before the pandemic hit. An indication that inflation continues to impact Americans despite wage growth. So inflation is basically outpacing wage growth. So even if you got a recent wage increase, it's probably being outpaced by inflation. So your recent wage increase is basically just gone into thin air because inflation is outpacing it. Also, a majority of Americans said they experienced higher prices than usual in recent months when it comes to groceries. 85% of people. Also, 85% of people said that gas prices were higher than usual, and 57% of people said electricity prices were higher than usual, along with 58% of people saying holiday gifts were higher than usual, and 62% of services were higher than usual. Yeah. Only 37% of respondents said that appliances were higher than usual. And 51% of people said they did not purchase those items, probably because of the high prices. Meanwhile, half of Americans polled showed that their household income was about the same as it was in March 1st, 2020, before the pandemic even hit. Only 24% of people said their household income was higher than it was before the pandemic, and 26% of Americans polled said their household income was actually lower than before the pandemic. That just goes to show you why people are struggling so much, why they're trying to pass another massive stimulus package, the Build Back Better package, why other countries around the world continue to pass other stimulus packages as well. Japan just passed another massive stimulus package with stimulus checks to their residents as well. States continue to pass stimulus checks, and cities and counties continue to pass stimulus checks, universal basic income checks, guaranteed basic income checks. They continue to send out rent assistance, utility assistance, homeowners assistance. Links down below in the description of this video showing you how to get that. States are doing it. Other countries are doing it because honestly, the pandemic has hit people really, really hard. And honestly, this isn't going to go away tomorrow either. This AP poll found that 57% of Americans disapprove of how Biden is handling the economy, compared to 41% of people who do approve. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is accurate? Not accurate? Let me know. Also, just to let you know that it's not just here in the United States. This is pretty much going on across the world. As I just let you know, other countries are literally passing stimulus packages across the world. We're literally seeing shutdowns across the world, lockdowns. Australia just had a 242-day lockdown in parts of Australia. Germany and Austria are doing it as well. They're also seeing partial lockdowns in places for non vaccinated people. We're also seeing fines for non-vaccinated people in some countries as well. Believe it or not, some countries are actually doing for people that are vaccinated are doing kind of like bonuses as well. But there's inflation is just running wild in almost the whole world as well. Check out this recent story. Yeah, if you thought inflation was bad here at 6.7% over the last year, check this story out. China's vegetable prices surged 30.6% in November as food costs soar. So we're looking at here in the United States 6.7% inflation. That would be the largest in almost 40 years. China's vegetable prices have surged 30.6%. Fresh vegetables in China surged 30.6% in November from a year ago, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The price of pork, a staple in Chinese diets, remained well below the high of last year with a year-on-year decline of 32%, but pork prices rose 12.2% in October. Food prices are on the rise globally, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And the overall average gains are following a 15.9% year on year rise in October. Yeah, so basically inflation it's everywhere. Everybody's dealing with this global pandemic, supply chain issues, and the pandemic's not going anywhere. It's we're still dealing with it. Now we got the new Omicron variant spreading here, so not only that, but we also have millions and millions of people quitting their jobs every single month. In addition to that, which is kind of exacerbating the problem. Listen to this.
Our new data shows Americans are still quitting their jobs at a near record pace. An estimated 4.2 million people left for other employment opportunities in October, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. While that is down from the September record of 4.4 million, it still represents a major increase from pre-pandemic numbers. In February of 2020, before the first wave of the virus hit, the Labor Department reported just over 2% of the workforce quit their jobs. In October of this year, that figure was nearly 3%. Among the industries with the highest turnover, retail, arts, and entertainment, and food service.
Yeah. So, Willie, you know,
but what other jobs have
we
they
still
got?
have a lot of job openings. I'm trying to measure my words. I got two words for you: work visas. If people don't want these jobs, let's give work visas out to people that would love to do this work for a year or so.
Yeah, it's a fascinating study how many quits there have been. If you look into the data, a lot of people have decided to retire during the pandemic. A lot of people have decided, I'm going to reassess my life. I don't want this kind of job. But they've made the calculation that they can get by without taking the job that they were working before. So how that works out, whether they've saved a bunch of money over the last year and a half, whether the checks that came from the federal government helped them save some money and sort of reassess their lives. I think this is a fascinating case that will be written about and studied for a long time, of this kind of transformation of an economy where there's a surplus of jobs and yet you have a bunch of people who are out of work.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Our economy is just it's a complicated issue. There's a whole array of problems here, and the pandemic is just it's exacerbated everything, and it's just it's not going away. It's going to be here for a while. So next up, we have Democratic Representative Hakeem Jeffries, who is one of the leading candidates for Nancy Pelosi's job of Speaker of the House. I think him and maybe Pramila Jayapal are probably the two leading candidates to become Speaker when Nancy Pelosi retires, which is rumored to maybe be in the next year or maybe the next term. Okay, so maybe 2 more years after that. She hasn't confirmed, but she is going to be retiring sometime soon. Sometime soon. Remember, the House has 2-year terms. But here is Hakeem Jeffries talking about the stimulus package and a couple different things here. Check this out.
You know, Joe Manchin yesterday was carrying around a card because people are saying nothing's happening. And Joe was carrying around this card. He talked about what's happened over the past year. I just want to get your response. $900 billion bipartisan COVID-19 Relief Act, which was passed last December, Bipartisan Energy Act, COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, January 6th Emergency Supplemental, Juneteenth National Holiday, repeal of Trump methane emissions rules, repeal of Trump True Lender rules, extending government funding and delivering Emergency Assistance Act, $1 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. All of those passed in a bipartisan way. Like, if you read this list, it was really fascinating. You just sit back and go, my God, there actually have been a good number. Joe's right. There have been a good number of bipartisan bills that have passed this last year.
Democrats have continued to deliver, and as President Biden had indicated, he wants to bring the Congress together whenever and wherever possible, Democrats and Republicans. From the very beginning, the president said, I'm going to be the president for everybody, not just Democrats and isolate Republicans and independents. I'm going to be the president for everyone, and he's actually led in that regard. And I do believe that as the facts on the ground change, as the jobs continue to come online, and millions of good-paying jobs have already been created during the first 10 or so months of the Biden presidency. And the Build Back Better Act, in terms of its focus on lowering costs that the American people experience, high costs of life-saving prescription drugs, home care, child care, universal pre-K, $150 billion investment in the creation and preservation of affordable housing. This is going to have a real impact.
Why aren't Democrats getting rewarded for that in the polls? Why are Democrats doing so poorly in the polls right now? Why is it that everybody in Washington, D.C. seems to think that Kevin McCarthy is going to be the next Speaker of the House?
Well, he may have that fantasy in his head, but
a lot of other people are living in that fantasy right now.
We're focused on governing right now, but you know, Speaker Pelosi and Sean Patrick Maloney are going to make sure that we're in a strong position to defend and grow our majority.
Do you feel like you can do that?
I believe we will.
How do you do it?
Well, listen, we have to govern, we have to message, and then we have to campaign aggressively. Like the livelihood of the American people depends on it, because it absolutely does. And you can't hand the keys of the majority over to folks like Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert. They will be running the House of Representatives, and they will not have the best interests of everyday Americans at heart.
Well, he talked about cutting costs there. Pramila Jayapal, who's the other potential leader of the Democrats when Nancy Pelosi retires, says, Build Back Better will cut premiums for more than 9 million Americans by an average of $600 per person, talking about health care coverage. This is what the people elected us to do, save money. It's time to deliver. Also, she says on Twitter here, Build Back Better delivers transformational investments in childcare, climate action, housing, healthcare, and more. But there are also a few under-the-radar provisions that will make a huge impact. Check it out. And she links to this article here on CNN that says 10 things you didn't know that are in the Democrats' Build Back Better bill. And it says, here are 10 of the lesser known provisions in the Build Back Better bill. Okay, 10 of the lesser known provisions. This will be interesting here because once they pass the bill, there's going to be all sorts of like nooks and crannies like this that I'll let you guys know here. It's probably going to take me a while to even find lesser known provisions like this. But hey, the article's here. I found it. And again, all this stuff can change by the time the bill's actually passed. But I'll share this here with you. $900 tax credit for purchasing an e-bike. An electronic bike. Taxpayers would be allowed to claim a tax credit for purchasing an electronic bike if the bill passes. So, hey, if anybody is interested in this, it's one of the many provisions for a spending package aimed at combating the climate crisis. So, if anybody is a biker and doesn't want to buy an expensive car or anything like that, the credit would be equal to 30% of the purchase cost, up to $900. It's only for people with less than $75,000 of income. Yeah, $35 cap on insulin costs. This goes with the reducing the price of prescription drug pricing. Among the Build Back Better bill is many drug pricing provisions is that it would set a $35 monthly cap on insulin for Medicare beneficiaries and those with private insurance. The provision would take effect in 2023. So it's going to take a year to go into effect. Remember, it's going to be 2022 here in like 3 weeks. Medicare Part D plans would not be able to charge more than $35 a month for insulin products they cover in 2023 and 2024, and for all insulin starting in 2025. I don't know all the details of that. We'll have to see when it passes here. According to a Kaiser Family Foundation analysis of the bill, private group or insurance plans would have to cover one of each dosage from either vial or pen, and one of each type: rapid acting, short acting, intermediate acting, and long acting, for no more than $35. Millions of Americans could save money under the provision, Kaiser said. The high cost of insulin has been a major concern for diabetic Americans, forcing some to ration their dosage, with sometimes fatal consequences. This has been prompting bipartisan efforts to address insulin affordability. Biden has highlighted the problem in a recent speech, noting that nearly €100 medication costs less than $10 to manufacture, but is priced at around $375 for a month's supply on average, and as high as $1,000 a month for those who need to take more insulin. And of course, there's several different kinds of insulin. Advocates are concerned that the uninsured would not benefit from the cap and remain at risk. 12 months of Medicaid coverage for new moms. The legislation would require all states to cover pregnant women enrolled in Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program, known as CHIP, for 12 months of postpartum. The provision is considered key to addressing the nation's maternal mortality crisis, which disproportionately affects women of color. About 720,000 new moms in a given year would get 12 months of coverage. That's awesome. Roughly double the number currently insured postpartum through Medicaid, according to the recent Department of Health and Human Services. Medicaid and CHIP covers more than 42% of births nationwide. Wow, that's a lot. 42% of births. Currently, states must provide eligible low-income women with 60 days of postpartum coverage. Wow. Though some states already offer extended benefits, some 45% of women become uninsured at the end of those 2 months, according to the Congressional Budget Office. So, I mean, as you can see here, there's a lot of like really good stuff in here that like we really don't cover on the show here that would probably benefit a lot of people here. And probably a lot of people don't even know about this stuff, right? The American Rescue Plan, which passed earlier this year, created a temporary option for states to provide 12 months of postpartum coverage and receive federal matching funds starting in April. About half the states have passed legislation or taken steps to take advantage of this provision, according to the Center on Budget Policy Priorities. The bill also includes $50 million toward grants and establish or expand programs to grow and diversify the doula workforce. Doulas provide non-clinical care to pregnant and postpartum individuals, and the funding would help 30,000 doulas receive training over a 10-year period, according to the Century Foundation. I actually recall Bernie Sanders saying that this would actually pay for itself by saving money. Believe it or not. I remember Bernie Sanders saying that in an interview. Extra assistance for the jobless to buy health insurance. The American Rescue Plan provides those who receive at least 1 week of jobless benefits in 2021 with generous federal subsidies so they can select Affordable Care Act policies with health insurance with monthly premiums as little as $0 and with low out of pockets requirements. The Build Back Better bill would extend this measure through 2022. As I said here, there's a lot of really good things here that don't get a lot of media coverage here. I'll try to cover as much of this stuff here when the package passes here. A lot of people don't even really know about this stuff, right? Tax credits for local news outlets. Companies that employ local journalists will receive a new payroll tax credit if passed. The credit would amount to equal 50% of paid wages during the first year and 30% of wages during the next 4 years. So that's not going to really cover a lot of people that really listen to this channel unless you work for a news outlet. College completion grants. There is $500 million in the bill to fund programs to help low-income college students, particularly those at community college, finish their degrees. The money may be invested in financial aid grants awarded to students, as well as wraparound services provided by colleges like mentoring, childcare, and mental health resources. Millions of students currently leave school before finishing, leaving them to pay tuition and student loan bills without reaping the benefits of a degree. Nearly 1 in 7 adults have taken out some college courses but have not completed a degree, and around 40% of first-time full-time students don't finish a bachelor degree within 6 years. Like other provisions in the bill, the money set aside for college completion grants is far smaller than Biden's initial proposal, which called for a $62 billion investment. The president also wants to make 2 years of free community college free, but that was dropped in the bill and could really come in the next stimulus package as well. This bill still includes a measure to increase the maximum Pell Grant by $550. The Pell Grant program awards financial aids to undergraduate students with exceptional financial needs. The bill would also make undocumented students brought to the U.S. as children who are known as dreamers eligible for the grant. Public housing repairs. The bill would provide $65 billion to address the backlog of repairs needed at deteriorating public housing buildings. It's a substantial investment that it could improve up to 1 million affordable homes for low-income people, according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. This bill also includes $25 billion for construction, purchase, or rehabilitation of homes, affordable homes, and another $24 billion to expand housing vouchers that help low-income families buy or rent privately owned housing. Honestly, you might be able to claim this money. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll have to see once this bill passes. I'll help you guys claim this money once it becomes available. I also know there's $25 billion as well for rent assistance in there as well. Salmon conservation, $1 billion to support conservation for salmon. Again, that's not going to really help many people here unless you're in salmon conservation. National parks and forest preservation, billions of dollars for preserving public lands and parks. Okay, I mean, that's something that we need, right? Preserving buckets of money for wildlife preservation, $10 billion for hazardous fuel reduction projects. I mean, hey, if you're in California and you got wildlife or removing vegetation so that if a wildfire burns, it burns less severe, you know that's a problem over there, right? So yeah. Funds for lower income families to buy food over the summer. Okay. The fund will provide families of 29 million kids with $65 per child each month to purchase food during the summers of 2023 and 2024. I don't know if they already have funding for 2022. Children who receive free or reduced priced meals during the school year will be eligible for the summer benefit, the pandemic EBT program. This measure is modeled in part of the pandemic EBT program that was created at the start of the pandemic to replace meals missed when schools were closed. The pandemic EBT program would give families roughly $375 per child during this past summer and remains in effect during the summer of 2022. So they're going to do this for 2023 and 2024 as well. Even before the pandemic, feeding children over the summer was a challenge with transportation, scheduling, and weather proving to be barriers. Hunger is linked to summer learning loss as well as higher likelihoods of illness and emotional stress. We don't want children to go hungry as well. Yeah, so like I said, there's going to be lots of things in the stimulus package. When they pass it, I'll keep you up to date here as well. Once they pass this package, we're going to have to sift through this all as well and see different buckets of money you can claim and how it's all going to work. So once they pass this package, stay tuned. I'll see what we can claim, how we can claim it, and what there will be to do. It might take me some time and a lot of work, but I'll put in the work for you guys and see what's available, how to get it, and what there will be. So, like I said, a lot of these programs I don't even know about, and these bills are thousands of pages. But it's going to take me some time and some days. But as they become available, I'll be here for you guys. So if there's money to be available, I will let you guys know about it. So make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Join our family of subscribers. If you've ever read the comments here, you know that we are literally a close-knit community here. We're always here for each other, always rooting each other on, and literally rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, internet assistance. I let you guys know about all of it, as well as state stimulus checks, county stimulus checks, big stimulus programs, the next stimulus package, Social Security raises. I'm going to let you guys know about all of it here. This next stimulus package is not the last of it. Okay, there's literally all these different type of programs going on, and it's literally going to continue through 2022. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's free to do so. Literally just click subscribe and then click the bell icon next to the subscribe button if you haven't done so, because it's free to do so. Also click the share button down below and share this video with your friends and family so that they know about this as well, so that they can claim this money as it becomes available. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus video next. This video over here is how to claim rent assistance. The top video shows you how to do that. And this bottom video is how to claim utility assistance as well. And in the description of this video is homeowners assistance. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.